Valdez-Sus, and joining me tonight are two big names in the sports world. First, we have Coach Martin Antonio. Hi, Coach Hammer. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Kamusta?
Okay naman. Ang shine bright yung suot ni Arlo.
White
Parang
na
ang ganda ng
white.
contrast natin. No?
Parang nahiya naman kami at na-underdress kami bigla.
Parang ang bait-bait ni Arlo. Parang kumikintab sa camera.
And of course, we have Juan Banal. Hi, Juan. It's been a while. Kamusta?
I know. No, bigla ako napunta sa Monday shift. Birthday kasi ng anak ko sa Wednesday.
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
Happy
Moses,
birthday.
happy birthday. But yeah, actually buti lang na natapat tong topic na to dahil dito ako
Mainit tayo dalawa dito eh.
Medyo na-work up ako dito eh.
Oo eh.
But before that, to our sports fans are ready to elevate your sports experience. Dive into the world of live sports like never before with Sports Plus PH. Whether you're a diehard fan or a simple of the thrill of the game, we've got you covered. So register now at sportsplus.ph. So tonight, we have exciting hot takes to discuss. At unang-una na nga dun, ay nagalit na si Daddy Lebron. For our second hot take, Lakers saving the NBA. And for our last hot take for tonight, Danny Ildefonso versus Benji Paras. Simulan na natin, Coach Hammer. And one.
Alright,
Go.
For our first hot take,
Teka lang,
nagalit
pipuelo muna ako.
na
Hingan
si
na ako ng
Daddy
medyo.
Lebron. So anong masasabi niyo dyan bilang athlete and bilang tatay?
Coach.
Ikaw na.
Baka muna yung isang oras
Naka-warm up ka na eh.
No, but I'll be objective with this, okay? I wasn't a fan of the whole Bronny moving to the NBA, to be honest, okay? I think it was self-serving. I think it was premature. I'm not saying that Bronny will not be good enough to be in the NBA. I think he is potentially yung pathway naman niya papunta naman ng NBA talaga, di ba? Pedigree-wise, skill-wise, just di ba? Ayoko kasi yung ginagamit ng mga tao na, grabe kasi yung pinagdaanan niya, yung heart attack niya and all that. And, you know, so what? Di ba? It still doesn't mean that it gives you a free pass. But, so, recap lang. Ang nangyari dito is, in-approach ni LeBron, si Stephen A. I think it was after a game. Was it after a game? I think it was after the game. Approached him in the sideline and then said, you know, you better keep my son out of
That
this whole
conversation.
thing, that conversation. Kasi si Stephen A naman, he would call out the whole Bronny being in the NBA. And it's right, and it's part of his job to do so. The moment LeBron allowed and orchestrated this for Bronny to be in the NBA, he allowed everyone to take a free shot at Bronny. Kasi, sinabi mo pwede na mag-NBA. Bakit? Absuelto ba yung mga ibang NBA players from criticisms? Hell no! Diba? Stephen A is just doing his job. Stephen A, to his defense, he said, hindi ko tinitira si Bronny, ang tinitira ko si LeBron. Na bakit niya ginawa to? Diba? Parang inano pa niya eh. Para siya naglagay ng bounty. Diba? Sinabi ni LeBron, wherever Bronny plays, I play. That's a bounty eh. Diba? Siyempre, di ngayon,
Lahat habulin siya eh.
Oh, if you want to get LeBron, we gotta get Bronny, di ba? So, and I think being a father, it's very unfair to put your child in that kind of situation, right? It's already hard enough na he's trying to live up to the James last name, di ba? To LeBron's height, right? It's hard enough to do that. But to do it prematurely, right? And then attach your name, attach your current status to your son, I think it's setting him up for failure. And if we go back to why he got mad, he has every right. Any father would do that, right? Any reaction, right? And it's acceptable because he's a dad, right? But also, Stephen A didn't do anything wrong, right? You have to separate Bronny as a son and Bronny as an NBA player. Right? And that's where Stephen A comes in as a broadcaster, right? It's his job to make those comments. Now, for LeBron to do that publicly, obviously, he's not just sending a message to Stephen A. He's sending a message to the entire world. Because Stephen A was saying, you should have just called me. I would have flown to where you are and we could have had that conversation. But si LeBron did it publicly, did it in a way that the world will catch this moment. And it's his message to everyone that keep my son's name out of every single conversation. Feel free to fly here, LeBron James. I'd probably shake your hands, but and have a picture taken. But feel free to fly here and call us out for whatever. But we have every right to call it out. Because the moment you said that Bronny should be in the NBA and he is in the NBA, then it puts him and it subjects him to all of this legally. Diba? You forfeit the right to privacy eh. Pinasok mo dito sa sitwasyon na to eh. Diba? So, anong akala mong gagawin ng mga tao? They'll bow down to you? Hell no. You're not even established as the GOAT yet. Diba? So, parang it doesn't give you a free pass. So, but again, as a father, I completely understand because I'm also going through the same thing and, I'm just biting my tongue to do anything publicly or do anything. I try to be as professional and I don't want to be that kind of dad. But every dad is entitled to fight for their child. That's a given, right? So these are my thoughts. Again, I can go on, but I know Coach Martin has a lot also to say about this.
Sige. I echo the same sentiment as Coach JB. But very simple. This is why he isn't the GOAT.
Correct.
You can't whine when people talk about stuff that you're doing. The difference with Michael Jordan and ito pa yung camera ko. With Michael Jordan and LeBron. Michael Jordan would just bunker in and just say, okay, sige, ngangat-ngating kita lalo. Well, maybe I'm just part of a different generation.
Can I just say, I just rewatched, I saw the video of, I don't know who it was from Orlando, who was talking about him wearing the 45, tapos sinabi ni Nick Anderson na, 45 is not 23. And then he didn't say anything, just came in. So tuloy mo lang, yun lang yung context.
What's his name? Darryl Armstrong.
Kwento mo yan, kwento mo para may context.
Kasi diba,
ganyan si MJ.
Na, huwag kang magbabato ng shade kay MJ. Kasi pag si MJ, nakarinig lang ng konti sa'yo, don't poke a sleeping dog. Huwag ka na yung mga monsters, huwag mong hahanapin. Papatayin ka niyan. Yun yung difference. Ito, pre, iyakin. Iyakin yung dating eh. Kasi, we gotta get context into it. Ang context kasi ni Stephen A is, he is a sports journalist. Ang background niya, he is a journalist in Philadelphia. He played, but first and foremost, he is a journalist. And ang mga journalists, they speak with facts. Yan ang ano nila. May mga kung may kinala kayong mga journalists na kinukuking lang kayo, sa kanila yan. But tried and tested in the heart of hearts of people who studied journalism for college and when they write, kailangan they spit facts. And that's the backbone of Stephen A. Smith. And Bronny James is not ready for the NBA. We call a spade a spade. That's what he did. Nagalit si LeBron? Well, sabi nga ni Coach JB, it's his right as a dad. But as a player, simple lang yan eh. Kasi ikaw yung greatest. Sasabihin mo sa anak mo, naapektuhan ka sa mga sinasabi sa'yo, galingan mo. Galingan mo lang yan, di ba? Tsaka nakita na natin yan nun eh. Di kasi siya sa Inebra naglalaro. Kasi si Coach Joe, tsaka si Dudut, di ba? Si Dudut, I think, prod guy, tama ba? First round si Dudut. Draft. I think he was first round draft pick. Wala naman narinig yung mga, first round si Dudut eh. Towards the latter part of the first round yun. I think dahil best friend sila ni Vince Season. Diba? Kaya nila nakuha si Vince Season from Pure Foods kasi Dudut was there. And the rest was history. But again, if you put yourself under the public scrutiny, if you're a player, it comes with the territory. They would criticize you. Kami sa media, we would get criticized. The art of deadma. Kung magaling kayo, dapat nandito kayo sa posisyon namin. Simple lang yan eh. Kasi kami, as athletes, when you're a player, your game speaks for itself. Kasi masyado na, ito na naman, generation ng Team Coach JB eh. Players get caught up with what other people say. But during our time, it's our game that speaks for itself. Ako, hindi ako magaling. I was a role player my whole career, but I am loved by my coaches up to now. His uncle will attest to that dahil love na love ko yung uncle ni Coach JB. But again, it's not about me. It's about this younger generation. You can't be soft. You're playing in the NBA. Imagine what Russell Westbrook was getting and the hate that he was getting the past 4 years. And then you would put, hindi mo na kailangan tignan na si Bronny eh. You look at him as a different player. So si LeBron, it shows that why he isn't, that's why there's a question about his mental fortitude. Kasi other players would just, KD would just shrug it off and play. Because he's a hooper. But LeBron, again, is all about the storyline. He's trying to catch the narrative, the mystique of being the greatest of all time. Ako, yun lang yun. As a fan, I'm a big fan of his game, of his skill level, but he isn't the coach.
But would you say this move, and both of you can chime in on this, but would you think this was a bully move? This is
Yaking pre,
it's
nakakahiya.
an entitled move, eh, di ba? Na parang, oh, what are you gonna do about it, NBA? I approached Stephen A. What are you gonna do about it?
Nakakahiya.
Right? He put Stephen A. in his place, but parang when you do something like that, degrading, I think
Yes,
you're behaving entitled and you're behaving like a bully. And I think LeBron thinks that, which is connected to our next topic, which is I think he thinks that he's the face of the NBA. He has to understand he's not anymore.
Yeah.
Right? He's there. Steph Curry's still there, but he's on his way out, and he doesn't want to leave the NBA in the league with these little things that could ruin his legacy. Right? Because Michael Jordan didn't try so hard to keep his legacy. Today's athletes are clout chasers, not just athletes. Anyone in the team are clout chasers. Right? I hate it.
Gusto ko yung nagpipigil.
Di ba? Sobrang...
Hindi masabi ni Coach JB, kayong mga coaches, hindi kayo nagpapanalo sa player, nagde-develop lang kayo ng player.
Yung mga cloud
Kaya
chasers dyan.
pag nananalo ang mga players, sila ang magagaling. Pag natatalo, kasalanan natin mga coaches.
Correct.
Yan ang totoo. Tingnan mo akong tubig.
Correct. Pero di ba, parang sa sobrang big deal ng social media ngayon, and probably they see it as a means to earn, parang wala na sa tama eh. Di ba? Parang, okay, sige, i-broadcast mo, ano naman. Parang, but di ba, mahiya ka na lang. Di ba? Kung if it's all for the clout and yet credentials-wise you're not ready, di ba? Parang it's very difficult. It's unfair to the people around you. It's unfair who's sacrificing. It's unfair who's putting in the work.
Yeah.
Di ba? So, again, but I think it's such a bully move to do that to Stephen A. It's like, okay, how is this any different? He may not have slapped Stephen A. But how is this different from Will Smith slapping Chris Rock? It's the same thing. Same banana. Because you can, you'll do it. There's something wrong about that.
Well, tsaka ano lang yan, walang pinagkaiba dun sa parent na, uy, galing ng anak ko. Teka, gawa ko ng sarili kong team, palaruin kayo anak ko. Uy, ang galing ng anak ko. Eh, nakikita namin mga coaches, hindi naman magaling, hindi nga marunong eh. Tapos palalaruin mo dito. Tapos pag sinabi namin hindi marunong, awayin mo kami. Ay, ako lang yan. Kuro-kuro ko lang yun. Kasi pag hindi talaga magaling, sa totoo, hindi ka talaga magaling. Okay, kung pipilitin mo magaling ka, kasi best of the best yung pinag-uusapan. Best of the best of the best. And if we retroactively look at it, since he was in grade school till high school, he wasn't part of the top 200 players of his batch. It's plain and simple. It's black and white. He wasn't able to perform at USC, and it's a marketing ploy for him to get drafted to the Lakers. It's part of the storyline, and that's what he did. And ito yung totoo, mas magaling siyang video game player. He's a better Twitch streamer. That's the truth of it. Magaling siya mag-Call of Duty, magaling siya maglaro ng mga online games. He's a very good streamer. But in the NBA, you're talking about different animals.
Bro, you can't have your cake and eat it, di ba? Parang, okay, kumikita na ng malaki yung bata, nakaposisyon na sa NBA, pati ba naman yung hindi siya pwedeng galawin? Hindi pwede, lahat ng player pwedeng galawin, lahat ng player pwedeng i-criticize, pero yung anak mo, hindi. Ako, for me, again, I agree with Stephen A. that it could have been done privately. Yeah. But obviously, this was, for lack of a better term, a big dick move by LeBron. Like, because I can, I'll do it. Di ba? I'm sending a message to everyone. And it's kind of like a statement na, you know, I'm still the face of the league and you can't do anything about it if I do this.
Ang bad trip dyan, pre. Kasi ngayon, you're sending a message like that. Tapos yung mga player, isipin mo yung mga Cole Anthony. Makikita, uy, si Brody yung bantay ko. Ultra green light yan, pre. Ako kasi yun yung mga gusto kong player pag nakita ng mga, siyempre yung backup guard ng Oklahoma, yung naglalaro behind SGA. Pag nakita Brody James, ultra green light yan. Magaling ka pala.
Tsaka, sinong kawawa?
Yung bata.
Si Brony ang kawawa eh. Ako, as a father, that's the same thing. That's what's stopping me. Kasi I always tell myself, is this my battle or is this my son's battle?
Yes.
If I fight it for him, then I'm relieving him from an opportunity to grow and get better, right? So, I always have to think twice, like bite my tongue. Pero ang hirap nun, bilang tatay. Dito, I felt like...
Bilang coach na lang nga eh, ang hirap na eh. Isipin mo kung tatay ka pa na.
Correct.
Ang kaya lang kasi natin gawin, mag-lay lang tayo ng foundation. Yan yung totoo eh. Kaya lang natin magbigay ng mapa. Pero yung 99% ng trabaho, sila yan.
Correct.
Sila yan. Ngayon, pagka tinanggal mo yung desirable difficulties, tinanggal mo yung mga things that would harden them and make them better, shield mo sila, magiging shelter, feeling nila okay, pero hindi.
And now let's move on to our second hot take.
Ito ulit. Di ba kami tapos eh?
Mayroon kami.
Joke lang.
Magkasunod, Lakers saving the NBA. At sabi niyo doon, Coach Hammer, and won.
Definitely not. Dito sa Pilipinas, at saka dito sa Pilipinas, Lakers sa Golden State lang naman ang alam eh. Dallas nung last year, lalo na nakuha na si Kyrie pumasok sa finals. But for the most part, of course, LA is a top 3 market when it comes to news coverage. It's New York, LA, and, well, Bay Area ngayon. So, it's California. So, media market, talagang totally big sila. Nandun ang big studios and all that. Nananalo pa. They're currently in the top 4 of both conferences. So, nakikita natin that, of course, people would like to talk about winners and they like to talk about stars. Recency bias, Luka Doncic moves to the Lakers. They've been a storied franchise, and now LeBron is stirring the pot with this, with everything that he has been doing. Isipin mo, pati yung combined 50,000. Ngayon ko lang narinig yun eh. Yung combined 50,000 points. So, of course, pag-uusapan sila. But saving the NBA, there are a lot of storylines to be talked about. I mean, recency bias again, the resurgence of the Denver Nuggets. Despite their pieces being able to fit ngayong season na to, maraming maganda pag-usapan. So it's not just the Lakers. And if people listen to Kendrick Perkins, oh my God. My goodness.
And there's bias there with Kendrick Perkins, diba? So, him favoring LeBron in this situation, I don't know what his vested interest is. But if Charles Barkley speaks his mind against it, this guy doesn't care.
Yeah.
And so that's why for me, it's so much easier to listen to him from an objective standpoint kasi paki niya, di ba? Tinira niya nga yung sariling network, yung network na lilipatan nila. Di ba sabi niya, the bunch of fools in that other network which they're moving to next year. Di ba? He doesn't really care. Di ba? He wants all the smoke. That's what he said. Sabi niya, sige, tirahin niyo rin ako sa mga sasabihin ko. I don't really care. Right? But I'm gonna make this statement. And he feels like it's unfair to make a statement that LA and or specifically LA is saving. And that's kind of sweeping statement ni Kendrick Perkins is so biased. I think there's may vested interest in that statement. May nahahaluan ng politika, di ba? Kasi paano mo sabihin, right now, if you look at the top 5 players in the NBA, sige, fine, LeBron's there. Fine, they made that move with Luka Doncic, so Luka now is part of that. But if you take a look at it, it's mostly international players, right? And they're the ones making the wave that the NBA is enjoying right now because now the NBA is becoming more global.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And so the world does not revolve around the LA Lakers. Obviously, it will always have a fan base. The same way Ginebra will always have a fan base. Can you honestly say that Ginebra is the only one saving the league? That's unfair to the others, PBA, for example. But that's unfair to the other teams, diba? But yes, reality is, if we call a spade, totoo naman, grabe rin yung fanbase ng LA, diba? But you can also say the same thing, grabe rin yung fanbase ng Boston. Yeah. Grabe rin naman yung fanbase ng New York, diba? May mga solid fanbases rin naman, diba, in others. But what's good about the NBA right now is that people are still I like the NBA right now because we're being caught off guard. We never thought that Cleveland will be in the top.
We never thought a guy like Luka Doncic will get traded.
Correct. Diba? So these are the things that are happening. But to isolate and solely say that it's the LA, yes, for LA fans, because they've been waiting to be talked about again, because they've been frustrated for so many years, having AD, having LeBron, having to win that they say dummy championship in the bubble, diba? And after that, nothing has happened, diba? After all of that, ngayon lang parang nabuhayan ulit yung LA, di ba? And so biglang all of a sudden, Lakers saving the NBA. You're just talking about this season. What about the other seasons, right? That the NBA was still relevant because of a lot of things that were happening. So it's unfair to say that the LA is the only one na bumubuhay ngayon sa NBA. Yes, the fan base has always been there, right? We will not disregard that reality. But you have to. It's not the same as Caitlin Clark saving WNBA.
Ayun,
It's not the same. Okay, because literal yun talaga si Caitlin Clark, whether you like it or not, people are really watching.
Yeah, because of her.
Because of that, diba? LA because of how they're playing. No, because it's Luka and AD getting traded. And we're talking more about Dallas and their boo-boo of that decision. That's why nadadama yung LA dun sa relevance, di ba? But it's really right now, di ba? We're talking about Dallas a lot. Kasi sunod-sunod yung kamalasan nila. Na-injure si AD, na-injure si Kyrie. Pinag-uusapan ngayon si Clay na parang lumipat pa ako dito thinking that I'll win. Tapos hindi pa lang nangyari, di ba? So it's a lot of stories. But I think it's unfair to take away the attention also from the other teams like OKC and Cleveland who are doing really, really well, di ba? So there are a lot of initiatives of the NBA, di ba? Even yung starting five, yung mga ganyang docu-series na ginagawa nila, it's all a lot of movements. But you have to share the credit. Hindi pwedeng LA lang talaga, di nga.
Hindi lang si LeBron, hindi lang sila. Yeah. And titignan mo, mas marami pang nanonood kay Steph. Diba? Mas maraming, lalo na yung resurgence ng Golden State. But we'll see, dahil playoffs pa. Hindi natin alam kung lulusot niya dahil pag natapat sa Denver yan, yari yan sa Denver.
So yeah, so there, again, Kendrick Perkins, for all that who he is, I respect him as a sportscaster. But I think with that statement, it's too sweeping. Masyadong generalization yung sinabi niya. Pangalawa, I think may politika na halo, may vested interest na, may makukuha siya from medyo bias pa yung statement. That's why I respect the statement of Charles Barkley more because he has nothing to gain from that statement, right? And so that's why when he said na, you gotta be kidding me, right? You didn't hear Shaq contradicting Barkley. He was, di ba? Kung mali si Charles, di dapat nagsalita si Shaq eh. Di ba? Si Shaq, close rin naman kay LeBron niya, naging teammate niya. Kung may mali dun sa sinasabi ni Barkley, di sana kumontra na, si Shaq pa, hindi yan magpipigil.
Hindi papayag na.
Titirahin niya talaga si Charles, but he didn't say anything, right? So you know that there is truth to what Charles Barkley was saying and claiming.
All right, let's move on to our last hot take for tonight. The Demolition Man versus the Tower of Power. Ano masasabi mo doon?
Ikaw, Coach.
Hammer?
Gusto mo mauna dito?
Tough pick.
Galing. Ganda ng fantasy na to. Ganda ng pagkapili
na to. Ako, kung titignan kasi natin yung consistency and longevity, to start off his campaign, si Papa Bear, Coach Benji, had a very solid start to his career. Till 94, if I'm not mistaken. But hindi siya 6'4". Definitely hindi 6'4" si Papa Bear. I think he was listed before as 6'6", but I don't know, wiki folks. Dahil pag magkatabi kami ni Papa Bear, ako 6'4" ako eh. Pagka magkatabi kami ni Papa Bear, malaki si Papa Bear.
Correct.
They're almost the same height ni Kobe. Kobe, his son. But again, if you're talking about apples and oranges, magkaibang generation. Nag-abot, naging magkakampi pa sa San Miguel for I think for a year when Papa Bear moved to San Miguel. But longevity, consistency-wise, to start off, nakauna si Papa Bear. Kasi Rookie of the Year MVP noong 89. And then when the knee issues arrived, it robbed him some years of production. But in 99, 10 years after winning the Rookie of the Year MVP, when Danny Siegel, Eric Meng, yung Pinoy na si Sonny Alvarado, tsaka yung paborito ko si Davon Harp, nung sila na yung mga nasa PBA na kumakatok para kunin ulit yung Rookie of the Year MVP. Sumagot si Benji para. But ako, baka si Danny Ay. Yung Danny Ay nasa NU pa lang. Pinipilahan na, pinag-agawan pa yan ng NBA. Binigyan pa ng Nissan Terrano ng San Miguel. Tapos, number 1 draft pick ng Shell, trinade para kay Noy Castillo. Tama, Prod Guy, di ba? Yun yung draft day trade eh. Kasi si Papa Bear, mag-MVP nung year na yun. Healthy daw siya eh. Kasi draft si, if I'm not mistaken, 98 ba si Danny Ay?
98, correct.
After Andy Siegel. Kasi Andy Siegel is 97, Marlo Aquino 96. 98 si Danny Ildefonso, number 1 pick. Number 2 pick si Noy Castillo. Tapos dapat kampi sila sa Shell. Biglang si Papa Bear, comeback season. Nag-trinade nila. Kasi it was Action Jackson, Vic Pablo, and Benji Paras on the front court. So, Danny I was compared to Coach Romel Aducol na silang dalawa yung magkasabay na dapat aakyat. Ito yung pinipeg na parang Fernandez-Gidabe na matcha pero nag-MBA si Romel Aducol, si Danny I nag-PBA, and yun na, doon na, nagkatapat na lang ulit sila nung medyo dulo na nung career sila after. But ang hirap naman itong matchup na to. Nagpaligoy-ligoy pa ako. Pero ako kasi with consistency, and both of them got robbed by injuries. Kay Danny I naman towards the latter part of his career na to, when he had arthroscopy procedures on both ankles, robbed him of that explosiveness that he got used to. But iba kasi mataas yung skill level ni Daniel Defonso. Kasi during the time of Papa Bear, grabe naman yung athleticism niya. So parang sila lang ng mga Pure Foods boys, Samboy Lim, at saka si Benji Paras yung talagang pagka-tak talaga. So, ang hirap, pero syempre, hindi ako pipili, ikaw na yung pumili dyan, Brad. Breakdown ko lang sila ng head.
Ako naman, again, if narinig nyo lahat ng sinabi ni Coach Hammer, it's a very tough match. Kung sino man nag-isip nun, Box Mac, ang ganda na ito, dream.
Prod guy, okay na nga ako dun sa Asaitolo, tsaka Bung Hawkins eh. Pinaglaban ko na nga yung Asaitolo.
Ang ganda ng pagka-matchup nito. It's very hard. I have to agree with Coach Martin that si Danny I was highly skilled, right?
Sobra.
Benji Paras was
Power
Coach Benji
player
was
talaga.
strong and athletic. Like, can go coast to coast like a freight train and nobody can stop him, right? And he's also awkward, di ba? Yung pero parang for some reason he gets the ball.
Parang Chris Webber, no? Herky-jerky siya maglaro.
Iba eh. Pero yung Danny I kasi ang daming moves. Di ba? Na nakikita natin, it's a mix of finesse and strength. Si Coach Benji is a mix of athleticism and bull strength. Di ba? Yun yung ano. And I think at a time when in the 90s, kasi medyo 2000s to si Danny I, di ba? Pero si Benji Paras, 90s to, bugbugan talaga. Bugbugan talaga sila. And so, bihira yung foul na natawagan talaga, na touch foul na alam natin yan. Hindi, doon talaga ikakaiba. And so, but if you take a look at it, obviously 8-time PBA champion si Danny I, si Benji Paras was a 4-time PBA champion, but both of them were 2-time PBA MVPs, katulad ng ating colleague dito na si Coach Willie Miller. But then they were also first pick overall during their draft
Kuya
class.
Willie din, di ba?
Ganun
First
din siya.
pick
din.
Di ba? So, but ultimately for me, nobody, yes, the 8-time championships of Danny I have to also say na ang lakas din naman kasi nung team nila, di ba? Parang grabe naman yung lineup na meron sila dun talaga. Kaya naman mananalo ka ng 8 beses, di ba? So, super team pa rin yun eh, di ba? Just the way with Don Ontiveros, Danny Sigel, Olsen Racela, di ba? Ang lakas talaga nung lineup nila. So, maintindihan mo kung bakit sila nanalo ng madaming beses, di ba? Pero this was pre-June Mar Fajardo pa, di ba? Kumbaga,
ang hirap pumili, no? Ang dami nating binabatong idea.
Si Benji Paras though, parang he didn't have all the exact pieces that you can say na super team, and yet he won 4, di ba? But the reason why I'm slightly leaning towards Coach Benji is because nobody in the history of the PBA has done winning rookie and MVP on the same year. Nobody's done that yet. Until somebody has, then I think that title solely belongs to him, and that sets him apart from everybody else. Like, that's such a difficult achievement to have. Winning Rookie of the Year is already difficult against your draft class, but then winning MVP against every single great player in the league at that time, Papa Bear, for me, would have ousted Danny I in this contest.
Gusto ko si Papa Bear kasi nanalo siya kasi na-point guard niya si Herbert Bautista. Hindi nyo alam yun. Okay naman. Okay. Parehas lumabas.
Dunkin Donato to,
di ba?
Alam mo kung bakit? Kasi yung mga player na extra doon, mga mapuwa players, kasi kaka-champion lang nila noong 1991.
Sila yung mga
so yung mga player doon, yung mga kasama ni Benji para sa Dunkin Donato,
kaya
mga mapuwa boys yan. Mga mapuwa boys yan.
Tapos, si Papa Bear, kinuha pang import ni FPJ dun sa isang pelikula niya. Si Danny ay may commercial kasama ni FPJ. So, sabi ko, hindi mo na alam yan, Arlam. But again, pinapasaya ko lang kasi ang hirap pumili. But the mere fact that Papa Bear had to work with less but still was more competitive. And nanalo ng championship ng college, of course. And kasi 40 greatest din yung point guard niya.
Correct.
Ito rin si Danny ay marami rin mga kasama sa greatest teams. But again, if you're talking about skills, mas skills si Danny ay. But if you're looking at brute strength and just being an anchor offensively and defensively. Kasi hindi natin sa opensa. But since he was called the Tower of Power, he was a league leader in blocks, he was league leader in rebounds during the 89 season. And this was against the best of the best. Nandun pa sila Mon Fernandez, Alvin Patrimonio was there, and all of those guys na mga legends talaga in the PBA. Parang ang kulang lang dun sa legends yun, si Junmar eh. Pag hinagis mo doon si Junmar, kasi itong mga to, umabot to hanggang sa mga kila Mark.
Saka parang, ako nga paminsan, fantasy na rin naman pinag-uusapan natin, di ba? Parang I felt like Junmar was born in the wrong year, yung wrong era.
Oo.
Sipin mo kung pinanganak si Junmar kaya nung 90s.
Yung mga poste-poste.
Tingin mo.
Wala.
Hirapan eh,
Wala.
no? Hirapan.
Hindi. Mahihinto yung PBA kasi grabe yung ngat-ngata nila dyan. Si Marlo, mapipilitan mag-weights.
Correct.
Mapipilitan mag-weights si Marlo Aquino kasi we were expecting so much. Ako kasi, ilang taong ka nung na-draft siya na 96, I was 9 years old. And yung lolo ko laging nanonood. Doon yung una kong draft na napanood. It was him, and then Coach Rodney. Kaya niloko ko si Coach Rodney. Coach Rodney, grade 3 pa lang ako, pinanonood na kita. So, yung batch na yun, kaya yun yung nagsisimula ako manood ng basketball. And there were so much expectations for Marlo Aquino. If Junmar was there, kasi ako konti lang yung mga sinlalaki niya eh. Si Kuya EJ could have been better if they were competing against Junmar Fardo. But on this matchup, ang hirap pumili, either or ako dito. Pero kukunin ko lang dahil mas maraming fans si Papa Bear, pero maraming fans si Raise the Roof Kid. Pero kung ako sa team ko, Danny ay ako eh.
And they raised really good kids also. Basketball-wise, di ba? Yung mga napalaki rin ni Benji Paras, tapos napalaki din ni Danny ay, di ba?
Grabe yung David Defonso. Grabe dumipensa off the pick and roll. Off tangent na ako. But again, ako, magdadani ay ako kasi si Coach JB, kinuha niya si Papa Bear, both offensive and defensive. Ako, wala ka naman tulak kabigin. Danny ay was a medium-range marksman na nag-extend ng 3-point range towards his latter part of his career. Was a very good post-up player. He was an option 1, ang galing pumasa. And remember, deliberate half-court game ng San Miguel. Inilalakad ni Coach Olsen Racela yung bola nung kay Coach Ron Jacobs. And he was the guy pegged by Ron Jacobs to be a front-court partner ni Nelson Asaitono during his first 2 years. Tapos nag-MVP na siya.
Grabe. Alright, for our last segment, we have our SPNation Plus NBA expert picks. We will dig in 3 of our 12 NBA games tomorrow. First, the Magic will be visiting the Rockers.
Well, Houston is obviously in a better state right now with 39-25 record versus Orlando's 30-35. Out of the 5 games, isa pa lang na panalo ng Orlando, Houston, dalawa. If you look at their matchup, right now it's 6-4. So Houston has 6 wins over Orlando in their last 10 matchups. Houston also doing such a good job in their home games. This is a home game ng Houston, so 21-10 sila. Samantalang Orlando in their away games 12-19. Kaya at this point for me, the safest choice would be Houston.
But for me, on the flip side, no Amen Thompson, no Reed Shepherd.
Correct.
So big 2 guys, that's part of their rotation. Pa-matchup nila kay Paolo Banchero kasi yun talaga yung Thompson eh. He is a 3-4 guy that can defend these hybrid power forwards, kaya mag-bang, kayang dumipensa, and forces switches on offense. So I picked Orlando here because I'm looking for them to bounce back, and they are my league pass team, and I will stick to that till the end of the season. Dahil nakakuha na ako ng isang certificate last month, pwede na akong bumomba doon sa mga team ko.
Next naman, Nuggets against Thunders.
Oh, this is a good back-to-back.
Yeah,
Back-to-back game. Ako, OKC one-handedly kanina. What a game, Coach JB. I mean, SGA and Jokic really battling it out. Baka nga, ito pa yung mag-Kia MVP itong game na ito mag-dictate. But again, going back-to-back, I don't think Nikola Jokic should want to lose back-to-back.
Yeah.
That's just me. I'm picking because of that. Both teams, yung mga minimal rotation pieces lang nila ang wala. But big part, nag-Denver ako dito, but big part would be AG. Aaron Gordon suffered a calf strain, so we'll see if he would be there. But just for the fact that Nikola Jokic won't want to lose against a contender, I'm picking Denver.
And it's scary. Ako lang, I think that's the reason why Coach Martin is choosing Denver. But that's also the reason why I'm not choosing Denver, because with the way he played, oh my gosh, the way that Nikola Jokic played.
Bomba talaga, no? Tapos back-to-back games sila magkalaban.
Doon lang ako, sabi ko nga, dahil sa back-to-back games, parang feeling ko naubos siya doon. And then again, OKC is just such a deadly team.
Ang lalim, no? Ang lalim nila na team.
Daming hugot. So 5-0 sila in their last 5 games. Right now, their home games, 29-5. Okay, that's how OKC is. Denver not doing so well. Away games sila 19-4. Fair, pwede na. Pero dahil nga sa ginawa ni Nikola, I mean,
Buhat talaga, no?
bilib akong magawa niya ulit yung ginawa niya. Pero feeling ko naubos siya doon.
Bukas.
Mahihirapan sila. Injured pa si Aaron Gordon. So I think mas madami pa siyang tatrabahuin. And I don't know if he has enough in his tank for a back-to-back game. So for me, I'm going with OKC with this.
Split kami ngayon, ha? Prod guys, split kami ni Coach JB, ha? Sabi yung camera ko. Split kami, sorry kasi ako doon sa kabila, but split kami ni Coach JB ngayon, ha? So magkakaalaman. Pero ako, since I'm an outspoken Russell Westbrook fan, he would be taking charge din tomorrow. Kailangan nila
Walang no
game na to.
choice.
And lastly, Portland against Golden State.
Itong Portland na to, lahat injured eh.
No-brainer to eh.
Buong front court injured, tapos yung Golden State getting their rhythm, trying to eke out to that number 6 spot. So I'm picking Golden State here.
Same. 9-1 ang record nila in their last 10 games against each other. So 9-1 in favor of Golden State. Again, Golden State, just having Jimmy Butler around has been tremendous for them. Just put the dog in the fight that's missing, that they lost. We thought that Draymond's like that, but Draymond's all talk. Ngayon kasi parang binabaka pa na ni Jimmy Butler ng actions eh, di ba? So, I think it's really a good complementary move for Golden State. Right now, they're home. Games 18-13 sila. Portland is 12-22 in their away games. So, the higher percentage choice for this game, both Coach Martin and I are picking Golden State.
Golden State, yeah.
And now it's time to read the comments from our sports fans sa Facebook
So, yung mga comment ng mga
TikTok.
tatay dito. So, yung mga comment ng mga tatay.
For our first comment, thank you, Power Back, for your comment, Lebron. Hawakan mo nga sa tenga si Stephen A. Smith. Kidding aside, siguro kahit anak ko yan, magagalit ako. Almost a year na di nila tinigilan si Baby Brony, di ba? Laro ka na lang sa All-Star Celebrity Games, Stephen. Nakita kong panay sat-sat ka lang, or you can call ball.
He can actually play. He played Division 1 but Division 2. But he is more of a journalist and he lost a lot of weight. He lost a lot of weight too. Working with Shannon Sharp helped him a lot dahil Uncle Shay is always in shape. So it forced Stephen A to lose some weight. And he was outspoken about it naman during the offseason that he wanted to be a little bit healthier. But playing now at his age after inking that massive contract, I mean, he just called it as it is.
And then ako for me, Coach Martin and our love, parang we don't fault LeBron for being a father.
Yeah.
We don't fault him for doing that as a father. Okay? We're not taking it against him as a father. So, in the same breath, we can't take it against Stephen A. for calling it out also as a journalist. Diba? So, hindi mo pwedeng i-fault si, for him doing his job. Diba? Parang, kaya lang naman tayo nainis kasi at some point, you have to separate LeBron as a player and as a dad. Diba? And as a player, that was wrong, right? Like, I think it was uncalled for. I think it was his fault why journalists are feasting on Bronny James. Siya naglagay sa microscope kay Bronny. Kasalanan niya yun, di ba? Pero as a dad, he will always defend his child. And that's what every father will do. And so, you can't fault him for that. The same way we cannot fault Stephen A. for also doing his job as a journalist.
Buti hindi ako sinapak ni Coach JB kasi parang 2 taon ko nang binibit yung draft na si Noah panoorin ninyo. 2 years, nakita ko to. Kasi kakampi nga sa RP nung pinsa namin. Sabi ko, panoorin niyo si Noah. Pag naglaro to ng NC, yari tayo dito. Sabi ko sa San Beda, i-recruit niyo yung batang to. Kailangan maalis siya sa Mapua. Sabi ko, mas magaling kaysa kay Tantan at saka kay Gab. Ay, sorry, nasabi in public. Nasabi in public, diba?
Baka puntahan ka ng dalawa.
Nasabi in public kasi Tantan teammate ko. Sige, pinocover ko. Nasabi in public, mga uncles, alam niyo mahal ko kayo. But again, kahit ako, kung tatay ako, baka mag-react ako, pero I could have done better.
Correct.
Yes.
Could have done better na, okay, sige, alam na natin na maraming sasabihin ng mga tao, kasi anak, pinasok natin to, ang kailangan yung laro mo mag-speak for itself. Protektahan mo yung sarili mo kasi hindi ako parating nandiyan dyan para protektahan.
And would you say that it was really a bully move by LeBron?
Oo!
By doing it publicly,
After
anong
the
gusto mo?
game.
Anong gusto mo
Ano
palabasin?
yan? Correct,
Di ba?
correct.
Parang kung tatay ka, tsaka decente naman yung kausap mo, tsaka alam mo naman, kinikriticize ka, it comes with the territory. You're trying to be the best of all time. Lahat will be under scrutiny. Di mo naman narinig si Michael Jordan tungkol dun sa Larsa Pippen tsaka Marcus Jordan
Correct,
na
correct.
issue. Lahat, binabato sila. Si Scottie Pippen yung salita ng salita. Ganun yun eh.
Yep. Again, hindi to malayo. Nagkaiba lang sinampal talaga ni Will Smith si Chris Rock. But I don't find it different. I think the same context happened because you think you can do it, it doesn't give you any right to do it.
Tsaka hindi sana bastos kung ganun eh. May buwelo eh. May buwelo. Tinampal eh.
Correct.
And for our next comment, thank you, Double T of Manila. Tingin nyo kakayanin ba ni Brony Baby ang mag-import sa PBA?
Hindi siya.
Kayanin ba niya si RHJ?
Alam mo, iba ang laro ng import You have to admit na ang import, hindi porket naglaro ka sa States, automatic import caliber ka. Iba ang requirements ng import, skill-wise, endurance-wise, mentality-wise. It's not for everyone. It's not because you're good in the US, automatically it makes you good as an import elsewhere, di ba? And depende pa yan kung saan ka maglalarong bansa, di ba? Iba ang style sa Europe, iba ang style sa CBA, iba ang style sa PBA, iba lahat yan. So, Bronny James, obviously, he's not import material. We don't know. For me, it's really too early to say anything about Bronny, but we're just calling a spade based on where he is now. Ngayon yung basihan natin. Kasi nga, ako, feeling ko, premature yung pag-angat di ba? Mataas yung upside. The same way si Bryce din.
Yun
diba?
ang mataas ang upside. Yun ang next.
Bro, si Bryce,
Yun ang next.
ganito na lang si Bryce James is the same age as my son Noah. And they were supposed to compete in the 17 under, right? But si Bryce nga nakat doon sa lineup na ganun kalakas yung mga players sa US Yung USA team na pinadala nila, wala si Bryce doon. And that says already a lot about
The Boozer Boys
where they
no?
are.
Sila
Yes, the
Camden
Boozer.
tsaka Cameron.
Nasaan sila, di ba? Bronny also, it's not there yet. And yet he's in the NBA. Di ba? Yun yung problema. Di ba? So, it's different. I think he's not gonna be a good import. I think he can play in the NBA eventually really well, but doesn't make him a
He
good
would
import.
be a high-level role player. Yun naman talaga siya.
Correct.
He is smart. He can shoot from the outside. Can defend the smaller
He's
guys.
athletic.
Oh, he's very athletic, but he's not Tony Harris. He's not Black Superman. He's not Coach Norman Black. Like Coach Norman, pag nakakakwentuhan ko, isa lang daw eh. Pagka kailangan, panalo lang niya lahat ng laro para may trabaho siya. And yun nga, Tony Harris, kailangan ganun ka ka-athletic, kung i-score ka na 100 na hinahampas ka ng mga Pilipino eh. Sa Pilipinas, lambingan yung tawag eh. Ultimo interbarangay, may nananakit eh. Di ba?
Isa pa yan. Dapat, Boss Mac, pag-usapan natin, kasi dapat matopic yan, yung mga viral videos ng puro suntukan na lang sa mga laro labas. Parang, yun yung mga cloud chasers na ayoko talaga eh. Na parang, di ba, hindi na
Dapat tayong dalawa yung nakaupo ha.
Hindi na basketball eh, di ba? Parang, hindi, magsuntukan na lang para sumikat, di ba?
Wala na nga akong buhok, namumuti pala eh.
Di ba? Parang sama eh. Ako ba, gusto nyo ba makilala yung Pilipinas dahil sa ganun? Yeah. Well, if it's gonna get the clout, yun yung nakakalungkot, yung clout chasers.
And for our next comment, CJ Reponte, thank you for your comment. Laki na rin ang improvement ni Bronny. Hayaan na lang siya tumayo sa sarili niyang paa. Trust the process, sabi nga ni Embiid.
The process is done. The process is done the moment Joel Embiid ran. Oo, parang...
Tagal ng proseso.
Wala,
Processed food pa
wala.
si Joel Embiid.
Wala
Tagal
na,
eh.
Parang sa Pilipinas nagpa-proseso tapos walang kakilala.
Correct.
Ganun yung nangyari. Pero again...
Pero I have to agree, Bronny James, alam ka namang hindi ka gumaling, naglalaro ka sa NBA.
At saka yung-
diba,
yung ensayo mo
naglalaro
na
ka sa
tutuloy.
LA eh. Dapat lang naman gumaling ka, di ba? Pero sapat ba na maging someone ka sa NBA? Medyo malayo pa.
Kailangan mo ng reps eh. Yun talaga. Gumagaling yung mga players, yung biggest jump, kahit sa ang level, is when you play your rookie year and then the second year, that's the biggest jump na pwede mong mangyari. Kasi you would get an idea kung ano yung pinasok mo and then you would get the skill work, you would get the rhythm, and then nagko-compound na. Second year mo yung buwelo, third year, fourth year, yan, draftable nga na dapat yan. Yun yung mga tinitignan sa US NCAA. Kasi madalang yung pagpasok mo, finished product ka na eh. Madalang yung ganyan. Kaya nga gusto nila yung direct from high school para yung mga dadaan sa proseso ng college, yung mga dapat dumaan sa proseso ng college. Yung mga may talent na para pumunta sa NBA, mag-NBA na agad kayo.
Trust the process. And for our last comment,
Process,
thank you, Dropping Dimes Events
BIR.
Manila. Lakay ako dyan, hindi naman sineryoso masyado ni Papa Bear ang basketball. Nasarapan sa pagiging comedian. Paano na lang kung naging seryoso siya?
Alam mo, yung career ni...
Pero magkaiba yatang era niya nakita si Benji Paras. Kasi
Yung
kung
una
nakita niyo
una,
yung
ngat-ngat
90s
eh.
niya, ano iba?
nagdamage.
Iba? Kasi ako naabutan ko kasi yun dahil sa 90s Alaska. So napapanood ko talaga si nakakatapat nila sa final si Benji Paras. And I'm telling you, talagang buhat. Seryoso siya nun.
Laro.
Seryoso siya nun, di ba? Later on na lang siya, syempre nag-shift ng career, nung nakita na ating komedyante siya. Pero make no mistake, when he was at his prime, and he was dominating and killing it, he was a force to reckon. Ganon ka nakakatakot yung Benji.
At saka Prod Guy, gusto kong matchup na susunod Si Yeye Bonella at saka si Papa Bear. Yun ang matchup na gusto natin makita kung sino mas nakakatawa. Kasi parehas ko naging partner sa...
Bolado. Bonel Bali.
Hindi, sa comedy lang ikaw.
Ah.
Huwag na basketball. Tinapat na nga natin si Bulado kay Bongo.
May Big Mac ka pa.
Oo, si Big Mac. Hindi, si Big Mac umahabol pa eh.
Ah.
Umahabol pa ngayon si Big Mac. Yan. Basta may requirement yata pagiging komedyante. Kailangan 6'6 pataas eh. Hindi ako, dito lang ako pwede maging
Makahabol
komedyante.
pa ko siya.
Hindi, 6'4 lang ako. 6'5 lang ako. Pag nakasama, 6'4 lang ako pag barefoot eh. Di ba, ano na lang ako, yung mga bodyguard ng mga action star.
Ayun.
Okay na ako doon. Best friend role. Umakit up ni Seb, pre! Okay ka lang ba? Yung
Nakikitawa ka pag may nagpatawa, ganyan.
Ay, yung mga napapalo ng dyaryo ni Kevin Cosme ng mga tambay.
Yan. Yung mga
Nanganap ka
reference
eh.
natin, Coach. Medyo, yung
Yun,
edad natin.
lumalabas tayo na naman eh.
Alam mo, nata-targeted ads ako niyan sa Facebook ngayon. Yung mga lumalabas, mga Dolphy, Babalukan. Sabi ko, parang may personal na tong Facebook na to eh. But anyway, we digress.
And now let's have a brief recap sa mga napag-usapan natin a while ago. For our first hot take, nagalit na si Daddy Lebron. For our...
Good for Stephen A. Smith as being a journalist. Thumbs up then for... LeBron will react as a dad, as we should, when there are negative things being thrown at our kids. But the question is, was it the right thing to do? And was it the right avenue to exercise that option?
And ako, I appreciate Stephen A. for showing us journalists, sportscasters also, how it's done. Doing it with respect, doing it with integrity and honor when you respond to a situation like that. He was called out by LeBron, humiliated in front of people, videos were taken, and yet the way he responded was so calm, it was done with integrity, and so kudos to him. I know he's not always the best person in the world with the way he is, right? But in this moment, I have to tip my hat to him for responding this way.
Second hot take, Lakers saving the NBA.
Not necessarily, but they're part of the conversation as always to be there as they should. They're one of the most studied franchises, but it's a huge disservice to the league and to the teams that are really peaking at the right time.
Correct. And then for me, LA will always be LA. The franchise has a long history. It has a huge fan base. Parang ano yan di ba? Sorry alam ko yung Ginebra. Sorry na, babalik natin. Nandiyan si RJ sa labas para na baka nakikinig. Pero si Ginebra kasi,
sigurado.
parang top of mind kasi si Ginebra, di ba? Pag sinabing Kunwari, pinilip, 1, 2, 3, sinong fan, kaninong team ka? Parang top of mind Ginebra. Kahit napaminsan napapaisip, Ginebra ba talaga ako? Hindi kasi yun yung top of mind di ba? Feeling ko ganun din si LA na parang top of mind. Siyempre, nung height nung Golden State din, di ba? Yung mga bandwagon effect, di ba? Pero nga, LA kasi has a long history. I think it's really the prestige of the franchise with Kobe's and Magic, di ba? Shaq, nandyan yan, di ba? Hindi mawawala yung LA. But to say that they are the reason why NBA is where it is, I think that's a fallacy. Maling-mali yun. Kasi hindi naman mapapag-usapan yung LA kung hindi naman nagkaroon ng trade sa Dallas eh. Di ba? Kumbaga, mas pasalamatan pa nila yung Dallas kasi dun sa mali na trade na ginawa nila. Napag-usapan tuloy yung LA, nadama yung LA, di ba? Kung hindi naman sila tinulungan ni Dallas na binigay si Luka, hindi naman mapapag-usapan yung LA na yan, di ba? I mean, mapapag-usapan, we're not this way, right? But so, I guess there are different factors. True basketball fans will appreciate the NBA because of how global it is today, how international it is today. Guys like Nikola Jokic are just playing tremendously for the league, right? And then kaya nga, di ba, na-bring up yung maganda yung best magkaroon ng all-star game ng world versus US. Ang ganda siguro nun, di ba? So, ganun ka-impactful ngayon yung NBA globally and that's why they have the traction. So, it's not solely just on LA.
Alright. Danny I versus Papa Bear.
I went with the Tower of Power for this one. Only, again, very dikit, but for me, what really sets Benji Paras apart from everyone else is the fact that he won Rookie MVP and nobody has done that.
Either or ako dito. Wanted to pick Coach Benji because he's a veteran. But I don't pick with my heart. But Daddy I, of course, part of the team. And either or ako dito. Whoever is there would help you win a championship. And Nelson Asaitono, part of the 50 greatest. Make it happen.
And lastly, the SPN expert picks.
Yan. I went with Orlando.
I went with Houston.
I went with Denver.
And I went with OKC.
And parehas ka bang?
Golden State.
Golden State. And to our sports fans, a little elevate your sports experience. Dive into the world of live sports like never before with Sports Plus PH. Whether you're a diehard fan or simply love the thrill of the game, we've got you covered. So register now at sportsplus.ph. And to our sports fans, you can support us by following our social media handles at Sports Plus on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Maraming salamat, Coach Martin Antonio.
Maraming salamat,
and
Arlav.
Juan Banal for
Thank you,
joining
Arlav.
me
Thank you,
tonight.
Para si Mama Mary. Puting-puting. Ito mo,
Puting-puting.
angat na angat ko. Ang ganda
Hanggang
pala
glow
lighting
yung ano mo
natin.
sa likod
Oo.
natin eh.
Lagi na mag-white.
Oo.
This has been Arlo Vesius, your host for SPNation Season 3, and see you in our next episode. Bye, guys!
Peace.
There's a bunch of different things that just like put it all together. Everything has like a different meaning.